I ride because it sharpens the world. On a motorcycle, nothing is filtered. There's no full windshield to soften the wind, no metal cage to dull the sound, and only inches between me and the road. Every sense is awake. I feel the temperature shift as I climb a mountain or drop into a valley. I smell pine, rain, and hot asphalt. I hear the engine not just as a noise, but as a language, telling me when to shift, something I respond to instinctively. Riding turns the ordinary into something vivid, something immediate. On pavement, there's a rhythm to it. Long curves that unfold like a story, corners that demand focus and reward precision. It's not about speed so much as flow. Leaning into a bend, trusting the tires, feeling the bike settle and carry me through. Every turn is a small act of balance between control and letting go. When it all clicks, it's almost meditative. My mind quiets, and the only thing that exists is the next line through the road. Off pavement, everything changes. The ground becomes unpredictable. Gravel shifting under tires, dirt trails twisting through the woods, rocks and ruts forcing constant decisions. It's less about perfection and more about adaptability. I'm standing on the pegs, moving with the bike, reading the terrain in real time. It's physical in a way pavement riding isn't. There's a rawness to it, a sense that I'm not just traveling through the landscape, but engaging with it. What I love most is the contrast. One day I'm carving smooth asphalt, chasing that perfect arc through the corner. The next, I'm bouncing down a forest trail, covered in dust, laughing at how unpredictable it all is. Both demand presence. Both pull me out of a routine and into something more alive. Riding, in any form, strips things down to essentials. It's just me, the machine, and the path ahead. No distractions, just movement, awareness, and a quiet sense of freedom that's hard to find anywhere else. Riding demands attention, but it gives something back in return. It pulls me completely into the present in a way few things can. There's no room for distraction, no space for yesterday's problems or tomorrow's worries. My focus narrows to the road, the bike, and the constant stream of small decisions that keep everything moving smoothly. In that space, my mind quiets, not because I force it to, but because it has nowhere else to go. On pavement, there's a kind of rhythm that develops over time. The road unfolds ahead in a series of lines and shapes, and I'm always reading it, looking for the right entry point, the right speed, the right moment to lean. Corners become something to interpret rather than just navigate. Some are long and sweeping, inviting a smooth, steady arc. Others are tight and technical, asking for precision and patience. When everything comes together, the line, the throttle, the lean, it feels effortless, almost like the bike and I are thinking the same thing. It's not really about going fast. Sure, speed is a part of it, but it's not the point. The real satisfaction comes from flow, that feeling of linking one moment to the next without interruption. Brake, downshift, lean, roll on the throttle, stand the bike upright, and do it all over again. When I'm in that rhythm, time seems to stretch and compress all at once. Miles pass quickly, but each moment feels full and etched into my memory forever. There's also something about the solitude of road riding that I value. Even when I'm riding with others, there's a separation. Inside the helmet, comms turned off, it's just me. No conversation, no noise except for the wind in the engine. It becomes a kind of moving meditation, where the repetition of motion replaces the repetition of thought. Problems don't disappear, but they lose their urgency. They can wait, the road can't. Off pavement, everything changes, and that's part of what draws me to it. The predictability of asphalt disappears, replaced by surfaces that shift and react in ways you can't fully anticipate. Gravel moves under the tires, dirt turns to mud without warning. Rocks, roots, and ruts interrupt any sense of smoothness. Instead of chasing flow, I'm constantly adapting, adjusting body position, shifting weight, modulating throttle and brake in ways that feel more instinctive than calculated. I'm not just sitting on the bike anymore, I'm moving with it, standing on the pegs, knees bent, arms loose, letting the bike dance beneath me instead of trying to force it into submission. There's a physicality to off-road riding that's different from pavement. It demands strength and endurance, but also a kind of looseness, a willingness to let things get a little out of control and trust that I can bring them back. There's a moment when riding off-road, when you stop fighting the terrain and start working with it. The front tire deflects off a rock, the rear slides slightly into a patch of loose dirt, and instead of tensing up, I let it happen. I guide rather than dictate. That's when it becomes fun, not because it's easy, but because it isn't. Off-road riding also changes how I experience the places I go. On pavement, I'm passing through landscapes. Off-road, I'm immersed in them. Trails take me into the woods, across streams, up ridge lines, and into places that feel removed from everything else. There's no traffic, no signs, no structure beyond the path itself. It feels quieter, more personal, like I've stepped outside the usual boundaries of movement and into something more elemental. And then there's the unpredictability. Things don't always go smoothly. I get stuck, I stall, I fall. I pick the bike up more times than I'd like to admit, but those moments are part of it too. They break any illusion of control and remind me that I'm just participating in something, not mastering it. There's a kind of satisfaction in working through those challenges, in figuring things out as they happen. What I love most is the contrast between these two worlds. One day I might be carving through a stretch of winding asphalt, chasing that perfect line, feeling everything click into place with precision and clarity. The next, I'm bouncing along a rough trail covered in dust, reacting to whatever the terrain throws at me. One is smooth and deliberate, the other is chaotic and physical. But both demand presence, both reward attention, and both strip things down to something simple and real. Riding, whether on pavement or off, removes the excess. It takes away the noise, the distractions, the layers that usually separate me from what I'm doing. What's left is direct and honest. A machine responding to input, a body adjusting to motion, and a mind focused on the moment ahead. There's a freedom in that, but it's not the kind people usually think of. It's not just about going wherever I want, whenever I want. It's about being fully engaged and getting there. It's about feeling every mile instead of just covering distance. It's about earning the experience, one turn, one trail, one decision at a time. I ride because it connects me to the road, to the terrain, to the machine, and to a version of myself that's more aware, more present, and more alive. And whether the tires are humming on smooth pavement or crawling through loose dirt, that feeling never really goes away.